Talking about substance abuse, it's also being discussed among youth at local centers during Red Ribbon Week. Jeffrey Ball with Harris Center for Mental Health and IDD joins me now to explain why early intervention is so important. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by. Always appreciate you coming on this show. This is a really important conversation, and intervention, as we said, is key, but that will look different among different age groups within our youth.
That's correct. Just like you were talking with Chris a few minutes ago, and they were talking about 18 to 42, 18 to 45. In the youth right now, 500% increase since 1999 for 15 to 24-year-olds opioid deaths. So that's why we have to have this intervention. When we have this intervention, we can save more lives.
Yeah, these stats are heartbreaking. They really, truly are. This past week, I was in one of the local school districts talking about Narcan. And how Narcan is currently in their it's law here in Texas for it to be at schools.
Yes.
They have it in this particular district, has it in their high school, middle school, but they're working on getting it into their elementary schools, hoping never to have to use it, but knowing that it's there to help save lives.
Well, when you look at the stats again, when you talk about middle schoolers and high schoolers, they're already binge drinking. You have 20% increase.
They're experimenting.
They're experimenting. They're getting out, they're getting with their friends, and then if you don't provide that knowledge at home as a parent, they're going to get that knowledge from elsewhere. And that knowledge that they get from elsewhere is going to be negative instead of positive coming from you.
Mr. Ball, let's talk about the significance of Red Ribbon Week, if you haven't heard of it.
Red Ribbon Week is something that was started by the DEA. They had a fallen DEA special agent in 1985, and his name was Enrique Carmina, and, you know, God bless his family. But in saying that, it's a campaign that goes against any mind-altering substances, and it's one of the longest-running campaigns. So when you go to school, you have your red ribbons. We wear our red ribbons, and it signifies how to be cool and not use drugs.
What's the reaction from students when they see this campaign, this type of work being done? Is it something that they easily adapt to? Do they appreciate it? What's the reaction?
You'd be surprised how many kids actually adapt to it because they are living in the stigma, and then once it actually comes out, it gives them that breath to come alive and say, hey, I'm with not using drugs.
Knowing that is cool.
Yes.
Like you don't have to use to be cool.
To be cool.
Right. And that pressure is a big deal for a lot of these kids.
It is.
Even adults to some extent.
That's right. And it depends on the family history and how you talk to your kids. So again, intervention is key.
I want to talk to you about family history. How can family history impact substance abuse? You know, we talk about experimenting in high school. If that high schooler has a younger sibling, you know, talk to us about family history and the role it plays when it comes to substance abuse.
Family history, it can pass all the way down from genetics. It can pass down to, and it just is as interesting as a party. If you're always having parties and your kids are around and you're having fun and you're smiling, you're drinking, and everybody's drinking and having fun.
They see that.
They see that, and to them, they think, hey, that's fun. So when they get with their friends and their friends say, hey, come on, let's have some fun, that's history that you're passing down to your kids that they should not be indulging in. You know, if you're going to have that type of fun, make sure that you have a conversation with your child and help them to understand. You know, and some families, they'll be like, oh, I'll let them drink with me. You know, and
because it's safer to do that versus letting them go somewhere and do it without us there.
Exactly.
But is that the answer here?
It's not the answer.
Yeah.
It's not the answer because you're allowing it to get in their system.
Yeah.
They don't understand what it is when it's penetrating their system. They're going through puberty. You have all these different changes going on with the child.
Not smart.
It's not smart.
Yeah. You know, along those lines, how can parents identify the difference between normal, typical teenage behavior and that of a child experimenting?
I'll say being evasive. When your child is really being evasive and they getting to the point to where they just are standoffish, they're in their room, they're looking lethargic, their eyes are red, you know something's wrong. And you want to have that conversation as soon as possible. Children that are experimenting, they go in and they really don't know what's going on. So they start acting a little bit erratic. you need to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
It's time to have a conversation.
Time to have a conversation and making sure that the standard is for us to have an open door policy within that family to talk about those
That's
things. Do you believe it is, what's the word I'm looking for, beneficial or helpful for parents to go through their child's stuff? Will that only push the child away? Will that only bring the family closer?
It should bring the family closer because you're showing that you care. Kids want to know that you care, even when they're being disciplined.
Yeah.
Because if you're not disciplining them or showing them tough love, they feel as if you really don't care. And I know that sounds kind of backwards,
Yeah.
but it's true with these kids today. Because when you don't give them any attention, they're going to get that attention from elsewhere, be it good or bad.
My parents would always say, and don't quote me because I can't remember quite how they would say it, but it would always annoy me. But I do remember the premise, and that was, we love you. We are your parents. We're not your friends. And so,
Being authoritative
Right,
and
right.
being authoritarian.
we're the ones that set the rules around here, and you follow them. So, yeah, that was always an interesting. That and this too shall pass. Oh man, I can just hear that. It was like nails on a chalkboard. Tell us about the substance use disorder outreach program at Harris Center.
So that's SUDAP. That's what I'm the director of. And we have a program to where children from 14 and up can come in and get holistically well and balanced. And the families are welcome as well to actually walk that walk with their children so that everybody understands how to become balanced and how to restart their lives.
And when we say holistic, it's because it includes not just you, but your support system.
That's correct.
Your family.
If you don't have I always say you need a safety net.
Yeah.
And if you don't have at least 4 people in your safety net, it's just like if you're at a circus and an acrobat is doing tricks and one part of the net is not tied up properly, and that
Great
acrobat
perspective.
falls,
Yeah.
they're still going to get injured.
Yeah. For parents going through it right now who are, struggling with their child who might be experimenting, who might already have come forward with addiction or substance abuse issues, what would you say to them? What do you want them to know?
It's okay. Don't be stigmatized by what people say. Get help and understand that the Harris Center is here from 14 and up. 713-970-7441. That's our SUDAP number. If you experience anything when it comes to drugs and your own drugs and you feel as if your world is ending, we have our suicide line, 988. We're here for you.
Yeah, there are so many resources out there. Remembering you are not alone. There is help is certainly key and critical in situations like this. You're not
Correct.
alone. Okay,
No.
mister. I so much appreciate you coming on.
Thank you
Always a
for
pleasure to
having me.
have you.
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you very much.